Hello everyone, my name is Carl Anthony Bigaldo. I'm here to present my calculator project in software design. Here we can have a bunch of lines of code that I'll explain later on, but as you can see it's quite long, so this will take a while. So let's begin at the top. Okay, so what we have, first of all, let's start with these two variables, which is num1 and num2. I couldn't really expand on it. I could have put in num3 and num4 so I can go on and on with my operations, but I limited my operations to 2 because it's more simplistic that way. So as num1 is your first value, your first input that you're going to add to num2. And this one here, oh wait, now before that, they're set as decimal because they can't be just integers. You got to have decimals for the calculator. And the second one here is dim up. It's how I structured my code. So I used a variable to check something that I'll explain here. Okay, dim up check as boolean is equals to false. I made it to boolean because there's only two choices. So the job of the op check is to check if an operation has started. So for example, I go 1 plus 2. Then once I press the operation of plus, the op check will become true. So it can verify it when you press the equals that you have actually done an operation. Okay, let's ignore this bunch of code for now. Let's go here. These similar blocks of code. These are the codes for the numbers. Like when you press the numbers here. Oh, sorry. The numbers here. The 1, 2, 3 to 9. They will show the actual numbers. They're all very similar. They're just making the text box appear 1. And if it's 0, it'll do that. It's pretty similar until 9, I mean 0, which is the last one. It's just displaying and adding on the text box here, this one here, so it'll work properly. So next is the actual operations, which are actually very similar to the way I code them. So let's go with the basics: the plus, minus, multiplication, and division. Okay, let's look at the code here. Where is it? So here's my code for addition. This one here. That num1 equals text box dot text actually means that the value in you put in the first text box. This is text box 1. I know I could have renamed it so it'll be easier, but I'm lazy, so that's that. Whatever you input in text box 1, it'll be inserted into the variable num1, so it'll be recorded. Then, like what I said earlier, since you already pressed the operation of addition, it'll display 0 so you can input your next value for num2 so you can add them, which is why below it is just op check true. So equals will work. Then text box 3 dot text equals num1 is for this one here. So you can so you can actually see the value of num1 here, and the operation should be here, and this should be num2 once you actually press an operation. Now these codes over here are similar to addition. They're just similarly structured, just with different signs like plus, minus, divide, multiplication, so I won't dwell on that. Next is, of course, we have the equals. So did you notice that my codes here for the simple operations have this: op1, op2, op3, op4, and so on. This helps the equals button to identify which operation, like this one here, this bunch of conditionals, like if up is equals to 1, then it automatically does this formula, which is addition. Then and so on, it goes subtraction, then multiplication, then we have exponents, nth roots, then else we have a little bit of error trapping because as you know, you can't divide by 0. It comes up as an error. Then after that, do I really have to explain the exponent? Yeah, I should. So exponent, we just plugged in a formula, this one, where it's shown on the equals already, so never mind. Oh, formula is right here. It's literally an exponent. Then we have the square root. It's already, the formula is already shown earlier. Then, okay, here's the hard stuff that I actually did research on, which is the sine, the cos, the cosine, the tangent, and these six. No, no, these seven. I didn't actually know that there was a built-in function. Is it a function or a? I'll just call it a function. Built-in function on the VB.net where you just call math dot what operation you want, and it'll just pop up. And I just copy pasted it and changed it to sin, cos, tangent, or cosine, secant, and stuff like that. You don't really need to explain because it's just built in. You just gotta use it. Okay. Oh, this is just the percentage where you. Oh, sorry. You just this is the percentage where you just convert a normal number like 8, for example, 8. You press the percentage button. It'll divide it by 100, so it'll go like 0.08, stuff like that. Okay. No, it's 0.80. Okay, down here is the code for the log. Same as always, I used a built-in function right here. Then a little bit of formula right here, so it'll be accurate. Okay, now coming on to the design. Oh yeah, I forgot to explain pi. I mean, it's still the same. Pi, man. Pi is still the same old function, same as log, same cos tan. You just gotta call the function so it'll work. Now, I also, oh yeah, I forgot to explain the decimal, so we'll do that right now. Okay, so here's the code for the decimal. So this line right here reads the text on text box 1 if there's a decimal. So using a calculator, you can't really put two decimals in one input. So this is just to make sure that there are no double decimals and create an error. And if there is no decimal, then it'll just add a decimal. That's it, very simple. So let's move on with my calculator. Oh, sorry if it takes long. Okay, let me maximize it. So this is my calculator. It's very simple. So there's a dancing poo in the background to have some extra effect. Okay, let's see if the buttons work. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Then this is the delete button. Oh yeah, I forgot to explain. I'll explain that later. So we have it. The delete works. Then we have to use the decimal. There you go. So it actually works. Then what if I add this to 3? See, it'll display your num1 here, your operation used, then your num2. When I press equals, which is right here, it'll add this. Then it'll go back to its base settings. Okay, and after that, I can show you everything else, but it'll take too long. All I have to do is just show you this real quick. So I have an AC to clear everything. All the code of the AC is very simple. Whenever I press this button, it just sets everything to 0. This one, make it empty, and this one is also 0, like so. And I guess I'll just demonstrate the the nth root is actually an nth root, not a square root. So we could say I want the 12th root of 999, then it'll equal to that. Then you can just put AC, so it'll reset. So that's about it. I could also show you the exponent, which is not just x squared or x cubed. It's you have to input a variable. So yeah, that was the off button. I basically just coded it to go close, and I will show you my code for the delete. It's just this. Since I'm using the lengths to check how many characters you have here, I put a conditional that it's like saying if textbox.text.length is greater than 0, then you are allowed to minus 1 character. Then if the text box length characters is 0, then it just displays a 0, like what you saw earlier. And that's about it for all of my code. It's pretty long because this right here can be all the code for the numbers 1, 2, 9, and 0 can be, how do you say this? Can be compressed into one line of code. But since my friend Vince tried it and he had difficulties, I expanded a bit so I can be more versatile with my coding. I can be more, how you say this, conditional with my statements, since these are individuals and not packed into one line of code, which is what he did. And now he's having difficulties with stuff like I won't tell you because it's his video, but you'll see if he explains it. And that's about it. See ya.